Should that roof have been secure, period?
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof.
So here's this thing with the slopes. You go all the way up to like 1812, you can go to a 112, which is about as flat as you can get without it being completely flat. And you're saying that there was a danger, safety concern there, but the problem is, Director, you put your counter snipers on a 312 roof, which is steeper than the 112. And by the way, the 112 is ADA compliant. You can build a ramp for a wheelchair on a 112 roof. So these are nothing but pathetic excuses, and they make no sense, and they're a bunch of cow dung. All the law enforcement I've spoken with over the last 9 days are amazed that the AGR rooftop was not secure. And you want to know why? Because it's dangerous. I have never had any long gun training in my life. I own an AR-15, and last time I shot it one time my whole life. It was 6 years ago. That is until Saturday, where we recreated the events in Savoy, Texas. We recreated what happened in Butler. I was lying prone on a sloped roof at 130 yards at 6:30 at night. And I knew that he had a scope. I didn't know what kind, red dot or magnified. So I shot 8 rounds from both. You know what the result was? 15 out of 16 kill shots. And the one I missed would have hit the president's ear. That's a 94% success rate. And that shooter was a better shot than me. It is a miracle President Trump wasn't killed. Corey Comparatore's life is over because that damn shooter made it on the roof. And it wasn't the roof that was dangerous. It was a nut job on top of the roof. You know what else is dangerous? I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful. And you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Is the government done with us talking about this? Are they done with letting the American people wonder why there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump? Are y'all over it? Or are you just going to continue to suppress information until we all forget about it? Well, guess what? We ain't forgetting about it. And we're not going to be done talking about it until you're just straight up with the American people. This is what happened. These were the people involved, and that's it. But based on all the information that has came out so far, no one believes that this was just a 20-year-old who had a gun and decided to go try to shoot Donald Trump. No one buys it. No one believes it. I don't care what side you're on. It's total crap. And we got some more stuff that just doesn't line up for me. Someone pulled the data off of one of the shooter's devices, and it shows some pretty telling stuff, especially for someone who is known at his school for being a loner, for someone who isn't social. Let's go to the first image. Someone who regularly visited Crook's home and work also visited a building in Washington, D.C. located in Gallery Place. This is in the same vicinity of an FBI office. Anyone else notice anything odd about this photo? Oh, look at that. The Secret Service headquarters is only a block away. That's not a coincidence. And just so we're clear here, let me set the stage once again. This is a dude who was bullied in school, a loner, and lives in a small town in Pennsylvania. And he's getting visited from a person in Washington, D.C., who's right next to an FBI building and right next to the U.S. Secret Service headquarters? Oh, it's just random. Then we have another device that goes from Boston to Plymouth Harbor, Massachusetts, then to Boston, then to Pittsburgh. Now, this is a device that is linked to the shooters. Then we have another one. This one isn't sketchy at all. Another device that was linked to the shooter's work traveled to Butler, PA on July 4th and July 8th, and then the device stopped all activity on July 12th, the day before the shooting. Oh, what? So they just destroyed their phone or their tablet or their computer the day before the shooting? Now, I can give you my thought on this. If I knew someone who I regularly texted or something, and I saw on the news that they committed a shooting, the first thing that I would do is I would probably contact law enforcement and I would say, look, I know this guy, I've been texting him, I have no connection to this whatsoever. I want to make sure that you understand that. And I honestly would probably have an attorney write some kind of statement for me to get it out there before they come to my door and ask me what my affiliation with the guy is. But look at the oversight on this. Imagine being a guy who is in contact with the shooter, but then destroys his device the day before, not after, before. Now, if that isn't all weird enough, this dude is connected to BlackRock. He was in a BlackRock commercial back in 2008.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say,
Oh, it's not sketchy at all. Yeah, it could just be a coincidence, but I'm not buying it as a coincidence. So let me make this super simple for the people in our government who think that they're just gonna cover this stuff up. We're not forgetting about it. We're not done talking about it. We're not gonna be done talking about it until you just straight up come out and say, these were the people involved. This is who helped them. We, as the American people, are not taking, well, we just don't know.
Director Sheetal, can you please give me the names of the individuals who are in charge of your con-op for the rally?
I'm not going to release names.
Can you give me the
today.
titles? And how many individuals?
No.
Nothing?
We had a full advance team that was responsible for advancing
How many
the site.
people are the final approval authority?
There are a number of people
Can you
that
give me a
are
number?
engaged in approving
Can you
the
give
plan.
me a number?
No, I do not have.
Okay.
We as the American people are not taking, oh, well, it was just incompetence. We are talking about the most organized and threat-proof organization to ever walk the earth. I don't think people truly understand it. I don't think we really can understand the connections and the technology that the Secret Service has. But this was treated as if it was their first day on the job and that they're just some local security. This kid was able to fly a fucking drone over this place. How did you, as the Secret Service, not even have a drone out there? Let me give you all a story real quick, because this is just fascinating to me. I went to a 2A rally in Arizona. This is probably 8 months ago. Every single building, more buildings than this Trump rally, had somebody on top. They had dudes with binoculars, dudes with long guns, and they had drones flying over the event the entire time. This was for a 2A rally. So we all know how these things go. They say, oh, the investigation's gonna take 60 days, 90 days. How about this? How about as you get information, you release it? Not, oh, we're gonna take 60 to 90 days to create a story that doesn't look bad, and then we'll give that to the American people. No. The government thinks that they're this entity where they can sit there and decide what they tell us. How can we get reelected? How can we make it look like we aren't involved or we aren't doing that bad? This is not one of those times where you can sit here and say, oh no, we'll just cover it up. Because if it's not us who gets the answers, it's gonna be Trump. Trump will not let this go. And whether he does it publicly or not, that's fine. But he's not gonna sit there and say, oh yeah, okay, well, it sounded like there was 2 or more shooters there. I had the worst Secret Service team on earth protecting me, but we'll just let it go. No, not even close. This data that was collected with all of the devices connected to the shooters, it needs to be addressed now.